Hello, hi. Hello, hi, Dorcas.
Hello.
Happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to all those who have joined us. It's our day. It's our day. It's our day.
The night of International Women's Day. Today we have a very interesting topic, and so let's go straight to it. So, Madam Anita, thank you for joining us. Madam Anita is the CEO of OML Africa. So, hi, Madam Anita. Today we are discussing the importance of equity in the work.
The theme of, we'll focus the theme of embracing equity to business and the workplace. Okay. So really when we're talking about that, we're talking about equity in relation to pay, in relation to opportunities, in advancement, in relation to daily working experiences. Okay. So when we talk about equity in a workplace or in business, that's what we're talking about for women, right? We also mean for men because we're trying to be balanced, but mainly is usually the women who are facing the disadvantages. Yeah. So that's what we mean by equity. Those are the issues that usually we're talking about.
So, what are some of the examples of inequity in the workplace?
Okay, so one of the common ones, you hear statements like equal pay for equal work. So sometimes you may find that there may be women in a company, they're doing the same job as the male pay for equal work. So meaning that if women are doing the same work as their male counterpart, they should be paid the same. We're also talking about unfair practices in terms of family policies. So maybe they may give the maternity, but a lot of women, particularly in our sides of the world and other sides, they go on maternity and they lose their jobs, right? It's not friendly in terms of flexibility, right? For women to have children and be able to return back to the work, even though the laws all over the world allow, most laws are allowing for flexibility. Best practice is encouraging us to be flexible. By flexibility, I mean things like we can offer part-time work, we can offer flexible working, we can offer hybrid, meaning the woman can work from home and also come into the workplace if it's practical with their job, and also be able to look after their children, right? Be able to return back maybe after the child is maybe 1 year. So the employer could be fair by saying, okay, after the next 6 months or so, you can work this flexibility until the child is 1. But we don't really have that. A lot of the time, women just get the basic that the law says. Sometimes they don't even want to pay for that little 3 months maternity or 6 months maternity, and they end up losing their work. So that's unfair. To be fair, on the balance side, paternity is not a provision all over the world. Some countries have provisions for paternities, others don't. That means that's the days for the fathers, right? And so that's also a big deal because the generation coming now, they want to have flexibility. They want to be part of the home, the fathers, right? So it's also looking at the paternity side of that whole equity in the workplace. So yeah, when we are talking about it, we are really looking at it in this way. Sometimes the advancement, you go to a company and most of the leadership are men. You may find, if you're lucky, 1 woman, right? Or 2 or none. Okay, so it's basically, we're not saying, I want to clarify, we're not saying that women should just be automatically given position because they're women. We're not saying that. We're saying open up the opportunity so those who qualify can also apply. And sometimes that is not always the way. Even when they qualify, you may find that they're not given the position, right? So we're asking to be treated with merit. We're not asking for special favors. We just give us the opportunity. That's the point here of equity in allowing me to advance. Even when you come into business, right? It's not easy for us women in business. All over you hear that women are supposed to be there, especially even if we just take where we are now, like in Ghana, majority of SMEs are women. But what are the provisions that are supporting the women? You find that when you go to other countries, it's the same thing. A lot of the women are in the business space, but the equity in terms of opportunity, and support, it's not the same, right? And we're not the same when it comes to running business. So yeah, so these are some of the things.
Interesting. Okay, so what are some of the ways we can embrace equity in our business?
There's lots of ways, you know. For example, if we start with business, one of the best ways is to, you know, on the continent in Africa, you have a situation in this modern day where sometimes a woman can only get a loan, right, or financial support facilities from financial institutions if her husband guarantors for them, right, with property or whatnot, right? Because in our side, it's not always that women are having some of the economic. Saying that also in the workplace, things like the family-friendly policies are important. So making your maternity friendly, offering flexible hours, allowing for some of the other models of employment like part-time. There are things like, you know, because sometimes your best staff may be your women, right? And if you make it good for them, they are likely to stay. A lot of women employees, when you get it right with them, they are very loyal. They stay for a very long time. So you can look at that. Other things is looking around the pay, looking at the benefits. You know, sometimes the benefits have to modernize. Sometimes a woman may prefer benefits towards childcare, right? Or education, right, maybe more suited to them. Then maybe transportation may not be a big deal for them. So it's also looking at the benefits that you're offering to make sure that it's relevant to now. And then advancement, you know, making sure that it's fair. There's fairness and in terms of equality of opportunity for them to also progress. And that when they go on maternity, we shouldn't let women have to choose between working or having children, right? Let's make provisions for when people go on maternity so they can return back into the employment, and let's be flexible when they come back into the workplace. Let's also look at the pay gap and the pay structures and make sure that they're being paid fairly for jobs that they are doing that is in correlation to their male counterparts. So these are some of the things you can do, you know, to try and embrace equity in the workplace.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Melissa. Today is International Women's Day. What do you think about the theme for the year? The theme is embracing equity. So what do you think about the theme for the year?
Well, I think this every year, of course, you know, I love the International Women's Day, and every year the themes are very good because it gets us to think about the issues more closely. And embracing equity is very important. Embracing equity, we're talking about diversity, inclusion, and equality. So for me, I was very happy with this theme this year because everybody can do something. Whether you're a small business, whether you're a big business, in any workplace, you can do something small towards embracing equity. So I thought it was fantastic. Of course, I can't talk about it without not talking about what we're doing at OML. So obviously, being an HR firm where we're supporting companies and running the HR departments for them, we've been celebrating diverse inclusion and equity for quite a while now, as you know, if you check our posts and things. And that's what we've been doing. We've been spreading this good practice to our clients. Some of them are doing very amazing things concerning equity, diversity, and inclusion in the workplace in Africa here. And then also within us as a company, we also try and do our best. We have, you know, flexible working from home. We try and make sure that we accommodate our female staff who do have children and do have homes. And we do our best to kind of champion the diversity. Our team is as diverse as they can get, and we are inclusive. We don't discriminate unnecessarily or over things that have no bearing on the person's ability to do the job. So I'm happy that, you know, I do my best to make sure that I'm practicing what I preach, but more so in making sure that we channel it through our services, which I think our clients have been very happy about. So this year, for example, we're doing a lot of awareness around the whole diversity, the benefits of diversity and equality in the workplace. So some of the things we're saying to address these particular issues is to have a policy and a practice that clearly indicates what you're offering or what you're doing as a business or as an employer for your staff when it comes to inclusion, diversity, and equality. I'll give an example of a client where they were in other regions and they wanted to move to other regions beyond the ones they were in. And it really, what helped was that they had employees who were from those regions. So when it came to the marketing, when it came to the PR and all of the planning, it was easy for them because the people from the staff from the region were able to tell them the culture, how they should go about it. And they had a very successful inception into that region. That's what we mean by diversity and inclusion. If you were not hiring people with a diverse approach, they wouldn't have had those employees who spoke in their ability to go into the other regions and make a lot of money, right? So with diversity and inclusion, equity is not just buzzwords that we're championing. They really do work when you commit to making sure that it's effective in your business and in your organization and in the workplace for employees. So yes, I'm very happy about this topic this year. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Madam Anita. It's very insightful. This 30 minutes. IG Live. So in conclusion, what we are trying to say is organizations should practice flexibility, especially with women and children. Opportunities must be given to qualified people, especially women, when it comes to hiring. And organizations should also try and review their benefits that they offer to employees to make it sure it's relevant to individuals, especially women. That's what we are trying to say. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So much.
Yeah, well, so we're talking about hiring people with little or no money, is that not it? Which has become a big deal. I mean, of course, yeah, and on that session too, we're going to open up. So if you have questions, because it's a big problem for small businesses at the moment with everything happening. So I hope you join us for that IG as well. And then we also have our CEO forum, which is purely for CEOs who are owning businesses, also coming our CEO forum where we talk about the HR and a lot of the strategies from the perspective of the high level, the owners, founders, and CEOs. So we hope you're joining us. Just check out our pages, isn't it, Dorcas? So I hope you. Yeah. I can't hear you. My final thoughts. So my final thoughts, I hope you're enjoying your International Women's Day. I do hope you will do at least one thing to embrace equity in the workplace or in your business, to help us on this journey of trying to build an equitable, society. So I hope you're enjoying. I'm really enjoying reading all the International Women's Day activities and things like that. So, but we hope that everybody will at least implement one thing that involves embracing equity in their workplace or in their business. So that's my final words.
Thank you, Madam Anita. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And don't forget to follow our IG page for more and also other social media handles. You can visit our Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, especially for more diversity content, especially this month. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.